Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I was going to say I'm going to be ranking all of the Destined Rivals cards, but it's not actually me who's doing the ranking, it's you who's doing the ranking, or you already did the ranking actually, because a little over a week ago I ranked all the Destined Rivals cards, not the previous evolutions. I accidentally included, I think, the Misty's Magic Carp, but that we'll ignore that. It is somewhat meaningful. And then there's a few previous evolutions that I think are here. I don't remember what they are, but they're here and they're okay. But anyways, I ranked all the cards from the set on a tier list. Here's my tier list, and it's not ranked within the tiers. This is on Tier Maker. It's a live tier list, so I can't even rank it within the tiers if I wanted to. Or I kind of could, but not really. Regardless, this is what my tier list looks like, and I covered this before, but I also said that you, the viewers, could go and make your own version of the tier list as well and rank all the cards based on how good you thought they are. And I've looked at some of the rankings, though I've not seen all of them. And I've glanced at the final rankings. I don't even remember what they're like, though. So today I'm going to be going over that and saying my thoughts on that and looking at what other people's thoughts are as well. Because obviously I have my own thoughts on the cards, but there are other, hearing what other people think is also really important. And I'm going to be looking at the average vote. There's the most votes, but most votes is like kind of weird. So we'll look at the average votes. And this is like the community tier list. And there's one card in S tier. It's really hard for cards to get an S tier. I think there's no F tier cards. Yeah, there's no F tier cards because it's really hard to get in there. But the best card voted on by you is Team Rocket's Energy from the set. Team Rocket's Energy and the Team Rocket's cards as a whole are a big focus of the set. It's like it's a good chunk of the set, and it's by far the biggest trainer's Pokemon, and we'll go over the different trainers. Team Rocket's Energy, though, is a Psychic and Darkness Energy attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon, it's Psychic and Dark. It's two energy. It can be two of the same, though, as well. So it's a very good special energy here. It's like arguably the major supporting card for the Team Rocket's Pokemon. We'll talk about, of course, other ones as well, but this is like the main one, kind of equivalent to Hop's Choice Band or there's Cynthia's Power Weight, which is actually up here pretty high as well. There's a bunch of them, right? I'm trying to think of another one in standard, and I can't. I guess there isn't one that's exactly like insane support for a certain type of Pokemon or certain trainer's Pokemon. But Team Rocket's Energy is. It's really, really good. This is like Rapid Strike Energy as well. If you're not familiar with Rapid Strike Energy and the Rapid Strike Pokemon, um, in general, it's there. This is like the same thing. It's the same type of thing. It's different literal types and of course different like trainers Pokemon slash set of Pokemon, but it's the same idea. Two energy and Rap Strike Pokemon. They were really good. They were a bigger deal than the trainers Pokemon, even bigger than the Team Rockets Pokemon. So there are a lot of cards, notably Urshifu, and there's Inteleon, which is fine. It looks like it's like insane looking at it here. It's not this good. It's actually due to weird tournament stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a very solid card, and the Rapid Strike set of cards was also really good. And yeah, that's a very good comparison. And yeah, this card is very good. I think, did I have it in S tier? I did. I had it. I don't think it's the best card in the set. I think the best one is Shaman, which I'll talk about in just a moment. And there's some other good cards. But let's talk about the Rocket stuff first. Some more here. We got Team Rocket's Receiver as the third card. I think it's just behind Team Rocket's Giovanni here, and it searches for a Team Rocket supporter and puts it into your hand as an item, which is really nice. Again, this is like a card that obviously depends on how good the other Team Rocket stuff is, but I think it's really good. And we've got the Team Rocket supporters. There are 5 of them. Team Rocket's Giovanni is a Gust and a Switch. I did not have this in the top tier. I had it in A tier, but honestly, I don't even think it's like insanely good. I think it's a card because you switch and you Gust, but you have to switch from a Team Rocket's Pokemon to another Team Rocket's Pokemon, so it's only within the Team Rocket stack, but it's good there. It's not insane though. I mean, like Boss's Orders is really good, arguably the best card in the game, and it's like that for a certain deck, but it's only that for a certain deck. Boss's Orders is really good because it's really like it can be played in every deck, and it really is played in essentially every deck. So I think this card is very good. The second best card in the set, I think, is a bit of a stretch, but I think it's still very good. And again, I do like Team Rocket's Receiver a lot as well. When you have Team Rocket's Ariana here, this one's draw till you have 5 or draw till you have 8 if all your Pokemon in play are Team Rocket's Pokemon. This one's a really good supporter as well. Draw till 8 is not insane. Well, no, if there's a supporter there's just draw till 8, it would actually be pretty insane. Draw till 5 is like not very good, but it is something. Overall, again, I think a pretty solid supporter. I had that one In I had it in B tier, but I could see it in A tier. I think it's pretty close to Team Rocket's Giovanni. I don't think it's again like one of the very best cards in the set, but I think it's pretty good. We got Team Rocket's Archer. This one actually I think is noticeably worse. I don't remember where I had this one. I did have it in B tier, but I think it's like a little weaker. It's you shuffle if one of your Team Rockets Pokemon was knocked out last turn, you shuffle your hand to your deck and draw until you draw 5 cards, your opponent draws 3. So it's kind of like Iono or something like that. But I don't even know if it's necessarily better than Iono. I feel like it's a worse supporter than Iono, which is kind of like disappointing that you have a supporter that is very specific, and even then, it's not really the best thing at what it does, even in this specific scenario. But it is a good supporter still. Then there is Team Rocket's Proton here, which searches for 3 basic Team Rockets Pokemon and put some into your hand. Then you shuffle your deck, and it can be played turn 1 going first, which is really nice as well. Overall, a really, really solid supporter there. Nothing like super flashy. And the last one is Team Rocket's Petrol. This one's in B tier, which to me is kind of crazy because I had this one as the last S tier card. I'd search for a trainer, put it into your hand, and I compared it to Arven. You could say, oh, it's like kind of worse than Arven, so then it's just bad if you have one card that's objectively worse than another one. But I don't think so. I think it's really good. Searching for a trainer, a lot of times you'll want an item. Team Rocket's Petrol. If you're not familiar, because I bet a lot of people watching this aren't really familiar with what people are playing in Japan specifically. So if you look at in the tournaments in Japan, you can look at a Team Rocket stack. Here we go. And this one is not playing Team Rocket's Petrol. It's playing all the other Team Rocket supporters, and I think that's pretty common. But Team Rocket's Petrol is a card that is still seeing a bunch of play. Like, let's see, it's like a little over 100 tournaments there, or 100 decks there. And then Giovanni played in, has it been played in more or less? I'm not actually sure. No, it's been played in less. I was thinking it was played in obviously a bunch less. And it has been Team Rocket's Petrol, though, as we see, these aren't Team Rocket's decks there. What, Incineroar EX? Okay. Scovillain, again, whenever I do this, I always find weird decks. Again, usually some Team Rockets decks, but mostly not. So it's like a very different supporter here. I feel like in B tier, this seems really low. It's a supporter. I don't think that is like universally pretty solid. It's not insane. It's like objectively, I think, better than Skyla. Skyla is Oh, this is going to be in Japanese, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. So Skyla is a supporter that searches for a trainer. So it's like the same thing, except that the Team Rocket's Petrol is a Team Rocket's supporter, so it is searchable. And if we look at this list here, oh no, this one does not play the Team Rocket's receiver, but Team Rocket's receiver, oh, I can't spell. It's mostly played in Team Rocket stuff, but it has been played in some other things as well. So that gives it extra value. And Team Rocket's Petrol, again, is just like a pretty solid general supporter. It's not going to be in that top tier supporter. It's not, as good as Arven when you're getting the most value out of Arven, because Arven can get you 2 cards and the tool can be really nice, and of course the item is really good. But again, I think this card is really good, and I think it's a little underrated. It's not very flashy, but it is very good. There are 2 other cards that I want to check for here, 2 other trainers here. We got Energy Recycler, and we got Sacred Ash. They're actually in the same tiers that I had them in. They are very good cards. Energy Recyclers shuffle 5 basic energy from your discard pile into your deck, or up to. Then Sacred Ash is the same thing, but for Pokemon. And I think these are both really solid cards. They're also probably a little underrated. Now that I think about it, maybe they should have gone in S tier, because they're going to be played a bunch. They probably don't deserve S tier, but they are cards that are pretty good. They're like solid trainers. Obviously, you compare them to like Super Odd, recovering 3 in any combination. You generally like don't need 5. That's not that common, especially for a Pokemon getting 5 Pokemon back. Like, what are you playing that needs 5 Pokemon back? But still, it is pretty nice. They are solid trainers. They're not going to be like, definitely not the top tier, not like the tier below that either. Probably Energy Recycler might be, but Sacred Ash is definitely a little situational, but it can be really strong as well. So these are trainers that honestly, like, these are cards you should, if you have, like, keep it. Remember, they're coming back to the game. I'm gonna make a video of cards you should get, and like these are going to be on it. They're a little different than most of the cards are going to be cards in standard, but these are cards that you could already have that are coming back to the game, and that's a really meaningful thing. So definitely keep an eye out for those, and they are going to be solid. I don't think they'll be truly insane. Specifically Sacred Ash, I just don't see being insane unless they print cards that work really well. The thing that works best with it is the Misty's Gyarados, which is somewhere. I can't actually. I don't see. I was in C tier here. Then we have some other Pokemon. I'll go over the other A tier Pokemon here. We have the this is like kind of hard to sort through. So we have the Ethan's Typhlosion. Ethan's Typhlosion is a solid attacking Pokemon. I don't think it's that good though. I had it in B tier. It does 46 more for each year. Ethan's Pokemon in the discard, or no, sorry, Ethan's Adventure or whatever, which is just supported. That's like okay. It searches for Ethan's Pokemon and Fire Energy, but it's not like super strong. But it does work with Ethan's Typhlosion as well. I don't know. I can't speak today. But yeah, it's okay. I don't think it's that good. I've talked about this a bunch where I think it's like kind of mediocre. I'd be pretty surprised if it's the best attacking Pokemon from the set. I think that's going to be probably one of the Stage 2 EXs if I had to guess. It could be something else, but I mean, I think Team Rocket's Mimikyu, the next one, is really good as well. But I think this card is pretty overrated. I might do a video on overrated cards. Tell me if you want that down below in the comments. If I'll do that. I might do it. I might not do it. We'll see. I'll probably do an underrated one. I'll probably just do a top 10, though I haven't already done that, and I did a tier list, so we'll see exactly what I end up doing. But Ethan's Typhlosion is definitely an interesting attacking Pokemon, but I just don't expect it to be that strong. Then we do have Team Rocket's Factory. I didn't mention that actually. I forgot about that one. You draw two if you have it's a steam you can draw two, and you can use it, assuming you've already used a Team Rocket supporter this turn. So it's a very solid stadium. It's not like truly insane or anything, but it's pretty good. Definitely a card I think that I'm underrating. I'm just thinking like, oh, it's just whatever. But no, it is a pretty good stadium. I did have it in A tier. Definitely a solid card. We got Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. This is an item that places. So you flip a coin. If heads, you do 20, or you place 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If tails, you do 20 to your active. You can then use, of course, Monkey Dory to move that damage off as well if you want, but that is like a little extra commitment there. But Team Rocket's Venture Bombs are a really interesting item. It can be used turn one going first to potentially get donks, which I don't think it'll be like that useful, but it is an interesting thing to consider. But this card is a really unique one. It's an item that straight up does damage. The last time we've seen something like this I can think of is his Hypnotoxic Laser, which was really good. But this isn't like the same as Hypnotoxic Laser. There are some big differences, notably the coin flip. Well, no, Hypnotoxic Laser did have a coin flip, but the coin flip wasn't for damage. So definitely a really interesting item. I'm actually really interested in hearing your thoughts down below in the comments. People generally, this one is like rated really highly. Most of these cards have like F tiers or like D tiers in them. Or a lot of them do, but this one does not. And yeah, I mean, I do think this card is pretty good. Then we have I think that's it for the Team Rocket stuff, except for Team Rocket's Great Ball. Okay, so Team Rocket's Great Ball is a really interesting card here, which says on a coin flip, if heads, you search for a Team Rocket's what is it, Evolution? I think, yeah. And then on Tails, you get a Team Rocket Spacek. It's like Capturing Aroma, but it's only Team Rocket's Pokemon. And Capturing Aroma, like, wasn't, I mean, it was okay. It's a tier 2 ball search, which we actually don't see very often. It's okay. But this is not Capturing Aroma. It's like bad Capturing Aroma. Like, you already have a bunch of ball search, so you probably don't need this. And if you're playing a Team Rocket deck, you probably barely play any Evolution Pokemon. You probably play, like, it depends. There are different builds, but some Rocket Spite Ops, maybe some of the Crobat line. I don't know, but I think that this card is like not good. I'm not gonna lie. I had it in D tier, which is like pretty bad. Most of these cards in D tier are like not really playable. Not gonna lie, I'd be pretty shocked if this card sees much play outside of maybe like the first week when people are just trying out new fun stuff. Not that it's a completely terrible card within the Team Rocket stack. I think it's like, kind of playable within that. And the Team Rocket stack is like okay. It's not a bad deck by any means, but it's not going to be like taking over in the metagame certainly. So this card I just don't expect to see much play in general, even in the one deck that it can be played in. But yeah, I figured I'd mention that. And then are some other Team Rockets cards. There are like the Pokemon and those different cards, but those are like the core cards to the deck. Team Rockets or the Rockets Mimikyu here does copy 0 points active Terra Pokemon's attacks for Psychic Colorless, which is like pretty solid. It's really good against Dragapult EX. Notably, I think it's a very solid card. Not too much to break down here, but it can be played in different decks, including the Rockets deck, but not necessarily only in the Rockets deck. Then we have Shaman is the next Pokemon. I do think Shaman is the best card in the set. This one has 2 people putting in F tier. I have no idea what that's about. Maybe they're just like trolling, but yeah, this card's like really good. I think this is the best card in this set. Probably, I mean, it's not insanely strong. It's bench protection for non-rule box Pokemon, which is mostly you're trying to protect your non-rule box Pokemon generally, so it's not a big deal not protecting like EXs. And then also it's okay, I will say this is obviously these cards are going to be in the game for a while. this could be meaningful later on when we presumably get a new rule box mechanic. Not confirmed or anything like that, but we presumably will at some point. And it could be that these Pokemon don't have super high HP. But regardless, still a very good card. It's worse than Manaphy. Notably, the more HP is actually worse because it can be searched out using Buddy Buddy Poffin. But yeah, Shaman's definitely going to be a it's a pretty good card. It's not, again, insanely strong. It's not helping you in like every match. Oh, also, if you don't know this, it protects you from damage on your bench Pokemon, but not your opponent placing damage counters through the use of something like Dragon Ball EX. So that is like obviously a big deal. This protects you against a few things though, and it is pretty nice. And definitely a card that we'll end up seeing play throughout its time in Standard. Then we have the Yanmega EX. Well, Yanmega EX is the fourth highest Pokemon. What? Wait, what? What? Yanmega EX I did have in B tier. Like, I don't think it's a bad Pokemon, but like, why is it so high? This card is not that good. Anyways, you like accelerate grass energy to it, and then you can like attack, but you don't do that much damage. This one to me doesn't really make any sense. This one's like really weird. It's an okay card, but like most people, like almost everyone put it in A tier, which to me is like kind of crazy. This card is like super mediocre in my opinion. It's not like terrible. I don't really expect to see much play though. Yeah. Then we have the Cynthia's Garchomp EX. This one's really solid. I didn't mention when I was talking about this card that there is a new card coming out coming out after this, in a while after this, called Premium Power Pro or something like that. I don't remember, but it was revealed at like Worlds or something with the Megas, and it increases fighting damage. So I think that's also going to help this. We have the Cynthia's Roserade here, which is an A tier. Cynthia's Kabite in A tier, which I think makes sense. I was kind of expecting people to like put this like really high up, but yeah, no, this card's fine. And Cynthia's Garchomp EX is the heart of the deck, and then you have Cynthia's Power Weight as well, adding an extra 70 HP. Obviously, it's not good without the Cynthia's Pokemon, but it's another one of these like really crazy buffs to the trainer's Pokemon that is kind of defining of it as well. And Cynthia's Garchomp EX does solid damage. It can be boosted up to really, really good damage with really good HP and stuff like that. But it starts out as like a mediocre attacker and can, as I said, get really, really strong. I do think this is one of the better decks from the set. I will also mention that's the other Stage 2 EXs here. Minus Grimmsnarl EX in A tier below. It's the third highest Stage 2 EX because you have Steven's Metagross EX above it as well. I do think Steven's Metagross EX is personally a little bit better than the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. I think I don't know, I like it more, and I definitely want to play it more, and I think it has more upside. I don't know if it's actually better. It probably isn't. Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX is a Pokemon that accelerates to itself. These cards are in live now, and the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX is a card that is really self-sufficient, which is good. And there's also Darkness Energy, so it works with Monkey Dory really well as well. Steven's Metagross EX is kind of clunky. It accelerates two different types of energy, so you're kind of like using Crispin, because as in you need two different types of energy in your deck, which gets kind of clunky. It's not necessarily that bad, but it's a little awkward. It does accelerate a good chunk of energy though, and it is really tanky through the use of the other supporting stuff like Granite Cave and the Stevens Care Bank as well, which they're in B tier here, which seems fine. And then we have the Marnie stuff, which has the support of the Spike Myth Gym Stadium, which helps you search out. It's like a pretty good stadium, I guess. Obviously, very much dependent on the other Marnie stuff, but yeah, it's pretty good. Honestly, I could see it higher up, but it is very niche. And then there's Marnie's Mopico. This one isn't B tier. I was wondering where this one would be. It's an attacking Pokemon. It's like the other attacking Pokemon in the Marnie's deck. I assume the other ones are in like D or F tier. Looks like they're not, or like C or D tier, I guess, because stuff isn't that low. Yeah, looks like I think these are the only two. I honestly don't remember, but they are at the bottom of C tier here because they're not very good. But the Marnie's Mopico is the other real attacker in the Marnie's deck, and is like okay, though it's not super good. So people did put it in B tier, which to me makes sense. Because it's okay and it's kind of like middle of the pack, not super crazy though. Then we do have I think we covered all the Cynthia stuff. Oh, Cynthia's Spiritomb's a little lower here. Wait, Cynthia Spiritomb's in C tier? Cynthia Spiritomb's, like, to me, just better. I mean, I was going to say just better than Marnie's Mopico. I don't know if that's a good comparison, but it does damage based on damage counters on your bench. Cynthia's Pokemon, which the Cynthia's Garchomp EX kind of, like, naturally feeds into. It's not an insane attacker, in my opinion, but I think it's, like, B tier. I think it's, like, definitely better than a lot of these cards in B tier. These B tier cards are mostly kind of bad, honestly. A few are really good, and then some are bad. Some are, like, fair in B tier, but this one definitely feels like an okay attacking Pokemon. Again, not like insane, but not bad either. I think it's all right. and will end up seeing play in Cynthia's next. I think it's like a consideration as a tech option within the deck. I don't think it's a guaranteed inclusion, but I think it's very fair to include it as a one of, maybe even a two of as well. Then there is there's other Ethan stuff. There's Ethan's Mag Cargo here in A tier. This one's like an okay attacking Pokemon, as well as Ethan's Ho-Oh EX a little bit above it, where you have a bunch of energy acceleration and then big damage off of that as well. Overall, I think this is like fine. I think Ethan's Ho-Oh EX is a really cool card. It's actually right next to Steven's Metagross EX, which I think these are both really fun. I think a lot of people kind of agree with me on that they're fun cards. People might be projecting them a little higher than they actually should be, but they are really cool cards for some different, honestly, like box styles of decks, unlike something like Mario's Grimmsnarl EX or Cynthia's Garchomp EX, which Mario's Grimmsnarl EX isn't necessarily going to create super interesting decks. It's like pretty self-sufficient, kind of like Charizard EX, not quite as good, but still pretty solid. And then Cynthia's Garchomp EX is Cynthia's. It's the Cynthia's deck. There isn't that much depth you can go with. The Ethan's Ho EX, there's so many different things you can do as well. You can also do a lot of different things with Steven's Metagross EX, which is cool. Not quite as many, I guess. You are Stage 2 EX with two different types of energy you have to be playing realistically, but still it is has some different options, which I think is cool. And then the Ethan's Quilava is actually like pretty solid, searching for the Ethan's Adventure, which is very meaningful for Ethan's Typhlosion. I think it's a little bit, no, having it like here seems fine as well. I think that's everything. Oh, and then there's the Rocket stuff. So we have Rocket's Spite Ops here, Rocket's Mewtwo EX, and Rocket's Arbok. I think Rocket's Arbok is really good. It's a really disruptive Pokemon, but it's like barely seen play in Japan, and barely seen success there. So admittedly, seeing that one like only squeaking into A tier seems okay. I think this one is both underrated and overrated. Maybe it's just overrated by me, but I think it's underrated by a lot of people because it's a really disruptive Pokemon. If it's in the active, your opponent can't play any Pokemon in the game from their hand onto their board with abilities, which is like not almost every Pokemon in the game, but like a lot of the best Pokemon and a lot of the actually important Pokemon. They can like, if they're playing Charizard, they can play their Charmanders, but not their Charizards. And if they're playing Dragapult, they can play their Dragapult, but they can't play their Dracloak, which is kind of awkward for them. And they can't play Noctowl, Pidgeot EX, Pheasantipede EX, Squawkabilly EX, though some of those are basics, which they can get out faster. But Team Rocket's Arbok definitely seems like a really, really strong card, in my opinion. And I believe you can get into play turn one going second as well. I think it's difficult. You can't use Salvatore. You can Team Evolution it out, and then I believe you can like knock yourself out. I don't know if that seems like it shouldn't be the best way to get into play tournament going second, because like knocking yourself out is like bad. But anyways, definitely a really interesting card in my opinion, or maybe like not interesting if you consider it like toxic, but it's a really theoretically good card, but with some sketchiness because its attack's like not very good, even with Team Rocket's energy. And then Team Rocket's B2X has crazy HP, a mediocre attack, and a bad ability. It's like an objectively terrible ability because it stops it from attacking unless you have certain things go like set up in a certain way, which definitely hurts it. And then Team Rocket Spite Ops, you're right above it. I think Rocket Spite Ops isn't that good. I'm not gonna lie. You accelerate to yourself and you have like a mediocre attack here. Maybe I'm underrating it. Admittedly, it is also Grass type, which hits weakness on Charizard EX and Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX, which I'm also lower than most people on. So it could be really nice for hitting that weakness, and it is self-sufficient and works well with the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX as well. I think the Rockets deck should be more of a box deck as opposed to focus around just these two Pokemon, and I think you want to kind of mix in and out other different things. But I don't know. I think the Rockets deck's like okay. I don't think it's insane. If someone says like that this is going to be like super good and like way better than all these other decks, I think they're just wrong. And we've seen that in Japan based on results. I will do a video, or I would like to do a video going over the stats from how well these cards have performed so far. If I can get that to work, I'll see if I can do that. But overall, yeah, these cards are like solid, though they are not insane. They're definitely all right. These A tier cards are like, or the A tier is supposed to be like good, not like great. I think like these are actually not even super good. Maybe actually it's supposed to be like great, not insane. People probably overrate things a little. I mean, we see literally nothing in F tier. So, but these cards, I think like most of them make sense here. But then again, as I said, there are some that I feel like are kind of really low. As I said, Team Rocket's Petrol. I think this one's the one that is the most underrated, I guess. But we'll go through it. Looking at B tier, not too much I have to talk about here. Most of these cards are kind of whatever. They seem fine enough. I think, Roxor, we don't know is going to play realistically. The Electivire EX just isn't super good. Definitely a lot of these cards aren't great. The Rakdos Persian EX and Titan EX just aren't very good stage 1 EXs. They have some upside. They're really funny. The Persian EX looks at the top 10 cards of your opponent's deck and copies an attack you find there, but they probably won't have any good attacks there because presumably most of their attacking Pokemon are just in their hand slash in play, or like not in the top 10 cards of their deck. But it's kind of funny. And then the Rockets Crobat EX line and Rockets Golbat, I think these are also, I mean, I like them so much. They're some of my favorite cards from the set. The Rockets Crobat EX might be my favorite cards from the set. As I said, I like the Rockets or the Ethan's Ho EX, but the Rockets Crobat EX is a really cool card. Ping your opponent to your opponent's Pokemon 2 damage counters each on a stage 2 on play ability is like cool. And then the stage 1 pings 1 Pokemon 2 damage counters, so you can get a bunch of damage counters on the board using this. It kind of reminds me of Dusknoir. It's not like really that similar to it, but I mean, kind of in terms of like the deck slots and the decks will be played in, it reminds me of it. Obviously, if you're not familiar, this is like a pseudo reprint of the old Crobat line from uh at some point in X and Y. I don't remember. I want to say Phantom Forces, but that might be wrong. But anyways, it's like very similar to that. These cards are solid. If they had a way to like get scooped up, that'd be good. You do have your attack, which you can use to return to your hand, though it certainly has some flaws. And then you also have like Turret Scenario or something. There are ways to get them back into your hand. Overall, I think it's like okay. Oh, I just got a deck idea. This deck idea is super bad, but really funny. So if you didn't see, I actually made a little while ago a video on Durant EX where I played a deck with Durant EX, where you'd like discard the Durant EXs using areas you want to depths and like bring it back and stuff. That deck was really bad, but I kind of want to do that with the Rockets Crobat EX line. And then you have Sacred Ash, which is actually like really important, theoretically, to get back like all these Pokemon. But definitely interesting stuff going on there. Maybe not with that deck, but with these cards, I think they're good. We have Arvin's sandwich between the two of them as well. The Arvin's deck's like pretty bad, unfortunately. Arvin's Mabasta if EX is in C tier. Arvin's sandwich isn't, I guess it's okay, but like the only thing you can really pair it with is Arvin's Mabasta EX and Arvin's Greedent, and like there's some other Arvin's stuff. Oh no, there's one other Arvin's line, which is the Arvin's Toadstool, which is one of the lowest ranked cards here. I don't think it's quite that bad. Like I think a lot of these cards above it are worse than it. But regardless, the Arvin stuff isn't very good. So even if Arvin sandwich is like kind of cool, like B tier isn't insane, but it's like it's all right. But realistically, like no one's gonna play this because the Arvin stuff's really bad, unfortunately. It barely got any cards and they're not very good. But anyways, we got Team Rocket's Moltres CX. This card's like really funny, but not super good. We have a bunch of random single prize Pokemon here. We do have the Crustle, which is like a walling Pokemon. It's all right. Honestly, this card, in my opinion, is about as good as Yanmega EX. I think they're, again, in my opinion, really similarly ranked. I think I have them in the same tier. Or did I have, oh no, I did have Crustle in C tier. I feel like Crustle is like all right though. I mean, I personally don't think it has a place within the game at the moment, but I think it's all right. I mean, Yanmega EX is just like so overrated here. And then we have again a bunch of silly single prize Pokemon like the Gorbis Huntail deck, which is like kind of fun. I definitely think that's a cool single prize deck. We have the Team Rocket's Nidoqueen and Nidoking EX, which I don't like really remember what they do. They're like not super good, but they're kind of funny. Rocket's Porygon Z, this is okay. It's kind of like United Wings, but like with stage twos, but then like support, or it's like your attacks is stage 2/stage 1, but you have like supporters. I do have the Rocket's Porygon 2 here as well. I'm not super familiar with the deck. It's kind of bad, I assume, though. Then we have, the Annihilate. Someone said this is, I might have talked about this before. Someone said this is like a better Feraligatr, and I have no idea what they're talking about, because it's just is like a worse Feraligatr. I guess it does better typing, but the previous evolutions are worse. The previous evolutions on Feraligatr are like so important, and the ability is also like objectively worse, essentially, because you already need damage counters on you to use your ability. Yes, you might have less damage counters on you, theoretically, when you're getting the value out of the ability, which is like kind of cool, but you're probably not going to be able to get the damage counters on it. And again, you have less versatility, which is like the whole reason Feraligatr is good, in my opinion. I've talked about Feraligatr at length a lot, but anyways, yeah, Annihilate is fine. It's kind of fun. Then Hydrapple. Hydrapple, I've heard a decent amount of talk about, I guess. It's a knockout, but it's a stage 2. It takes 1 grass, and you need 6 more grass in your hand, which is obviously a lot of energies. So Hydrapple EX is a really, really fun card. Really bad. It doesn't really fit into anything. Kind of sort of fits into Hydrapple EX, which isn't a very good deck, unfortunately. because its ability is worse than TMS Ogre X's ability, probably, and it's also on a stage two as opposed to a basic. And then like you're just using TMS Ogre X, but then like that's it. Like you have Hydrapple EX, but Hydrapple EX isn't super strong. Anyways, this isn't a bash on Hydrapple video, but this card's unfortunately not great. It's one energy, feels like it should fit in. The festival deck, but then you need six more energies, which you're not going to have. You might not even have like in your deck at that point. But yeah, it's a funny card, but not very strong here. Not too many cards here that are super worth mentioning. I'll mention Arboliva EX. I think Arboliva EX is okay. I don't think it's super good, but I think it's like substantially better than Titan EX and Rocket's Persian EX. Rocket's Persian EX, I guess, could have a place, but not right now. But Arboliva EX is a really fun card. It's like a spread attacker slash snipe attacker. It does what's it? 20. Oh, it does 20 snipe. I was gonna say it does 2 damage counters. No, it does 20 snipe, which is like worse because of Shaman and because of the Terra Pokemon. We do 20 snipe 6 times, which is like kind of fun. It's not super good, but it is kind of fun. I think it's an all right stage 2 EX. You got the top three in the Stevens, the Arvin, or no, sorry, the Stevens and the Marnies and the Cynthias, which I think are all pretty good. And the Rocket stuff is also a good trans Pokemon, and the Ethans is good. Those five are all pretty good. I think Stevens will actually end up being super strong in the game. I think it could be though. I think people just won't play it based on what I've seen so far. I think it's underplayed, and when I played it, it's been okay. Anyways, I've talked about this some before. Though that was with live being kind of weird. I don't know if this is still glitched in live, but I know it was glitched to be better. But obviously that's not how it's supposed to be. I will actually mention the Rocket's Tyranitar as well. This pings is kind of like Frostlass, kind of sorta, not really, but it also has an evolution. Attack on the stage one, which actually does damage as well. It's like 30 or something. Kind of fun, not insane. Also, the first Tyranitar, I believe that you can play in GLC, but also it's not even regular Tyranitar, which is kind of funny. I believe I heard someone say that, but I don't actually know if that's true, but it sounds true. And it's okay, you know. So I figured I'd mention that. We also have two baby Pokemon. We got the Ethan's Pichu and the Ethan's Jingling. They're okay, or no, the Rocket's Jingling. They're okay, not insane. Yeah, I don't really know where to put them. These seem fine. And then any cards here that are actually good. Again, the Cynthia Spiritomb is all right. Oh, the Misty's Gyarados is like super low. I think like the Misty's Gyarados is way better than the Cynthia's Milotic. I don't think Cynthia's Milotic is like good. Really at all, unfortunately. It does have the Cynthia support, but it's not a strong card. Mrs. Gyarados can do big damage. It can do 490 for one, theoretically, which is a lot. But realistically, I think it can be taking one-shots. Sometimes you need 7 or like 6 or 7 Pokemon to wait, no, sorry. You need like 4 or 5 Pokemon to take one shot, maybe 6, but probably not 6. Maybe even 3 could get enough, and you just go to the top 7 and look for Misty's Pokemon. I think it's all right, especially considering Sacred Ash. I think that does help it out a lot in the Misty side deck, which I do have here. Then we have the Rotoms. Oh, this is kind of weird. You got, where are they? They all blend into the rest of this. I see the Lightning Rotom, the Grass Rotom, the Fire Rotom, and the Water Rotom. Okay, so like the Grass Rotom's like definitely better than the Water Rotom. So I don't know why it's like ranked below. I think the Grass Rotom's definitely the best of them. If you said the Lightning one, I wouldn't blame you. The Water one and the Fire one aren't searchable off of Buddy Buddy Poffin, which is really bad, and they all have the same attack, which is 30 for each tool card attached to all your Pokemon in play, which is not a terrible attack. It's okay, just doesn't quite have a spot in the game because it's kind of hard to pay and also not so strong, but it is funny. I think they're all right cards. And then the lowest rated EX is Regirock EX. Nothing to really say about it, but it is the lowest one. Then there is the worst card from the set. Apparently, is this Kangaskhan, which almost everyone had in F tier, but isn't quite in F tier because someone put it in S tier for whatever reason. Someone put like almost every card in S tier, and then the Arvin Show School is the lowest trainers Pokemon here. I will say Lurantis is okay. It's not like super good, but it's like a kind of sort of playable Pokemon. So I feel like it's a little hated on here. The Misty Starmie is the other lowest rated trainers Pokemon there. Lowest rated trainer is MC's Excitement, which isn't very good. It's a pretty bad draw supporter. Unfortunately, it's not like the worst, but it's not really good, right, either. But overall, I think most of these rankings are fair. Interesting to see what other people's thoughts are on these cards as well. And then also, again, I feel like some of these are kind of crazy. I think the Rockets Petrol, this card is really good. I mean, you see like the ranking is kind of like spread out all over the place, but I feel like it's definitely a good card. Not necessarily an insane card if you don't have an S tier. I think that's fair, but I think it needs to be a borderline A tier, like minimum, because even though it's not good within the Rocket stack, it's really good. Oh, I didn't mention Rocket's Watchtower either. That's another really good card. This one is a really strong Rockets card. It's not in the Team Rocket stack necessarily, but it ability locks colorless Pokemon, which is really cool. Helps with Slacking EX. Slacking EX actually is like kind of cool. I'll probably, if I'm doing a video on cards to get, I will include that one in it. But overall, Team Rocket's Watchtower, definitely a cool card as well. A really good one here. Not like super interesting to talk about, but a really good counter card. Kind of like Shaman, not quite as good. But tell me down below what you think of these rankings and where you ranked cards. I saw someone in Discord send their list, and I was like, I think they're S tier cards, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I didn't actually respond to them, but I did see that. I do check my Discord server, but though I'm not super active in it. But I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell. I got some really big stuff going on in the channel in the future, or maybe it already happened. Not sure my schedule order, but I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.